Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the video. It's Charlie here. We're doing a little gear review today. I thought it'd be cool to have a look at a great overdrive pedal and just talk a little bit about it. I'm going to review the Fulltone Fulldrive 2 Mosfet, the Mosfet being the extra little bit they've put on the second the boost channel. So I thought it'd be cool just to do a video just to talk to it. If you're interested in these sort of pedals, definitely for blues rock style people, blues rock, sort of fusion, jazz, classic rock, anything like that. If you're a metal guy, I'd leave it well alone. I don't think it's the one for you, unfortunately. Got some great tones in it. It's a 2-stage overdrive, and we've got 3 options on the first stage. So I'm going to talk about the guitar I'm using a Carvin CT5. It's got humbuckers in the neck and humbuckers in the bridge. I've also got a coil tap, which means that I can tap the coils a little bit, so it makes them, we can get a little bit more stratty. We're never going to quite sound like a Strat, but we can get close. So we've got quite a versatile guitar today to use. I'm just going to demonstrate a few of the sounds. I think to demonstrate this pedal fully, you probably need an hour or two really to go through every kind of alteration, but just to give you a few of the kind of basic tones to get through, alright? So we'll start off with my clean sound. My clean sound is going through a Fender Blues Deluxe, nice clean amp, which has got a nice basic kind of, okay, that's the kind of thing. So I'll use that as a benchmark while we're going through the pedals. Alright, let's take a look around the pedal. So we've got the on-off switch, on or off. We've got the boost switch. Now when your boost switch is on and your on-off switch isn't on, it makes no difference whatsoever. So watch out for that. Okay. On our first channel, we have 3 options. We have a comp cut, we have a vintage, a flat mids mode, and then we have the vintage mode at the bottom. I like the vintage mode very much. Okay, so we'll start with the comp cut. Now beware, the comp cut mode is very loud. Okay, I would roll off your volume. So we're going to start with our clean sound about there. Then I'm going to go with the comp cut, and I'm going to take my volume down. I'm actually going to just take the overdrive off a little, and I'll take my volume down a little bit just to give you an idea. Okay, let's hear my clean sound. Volume up a touch. Okay, so the comp cut will just give you a little bit more. Bit more of a kind of, it feels to me like a little bit more of a toppy kind of sound. We've taken the compression out and it's just a little bit more, it's a little bit too bright for me if I'm honest, but it can work quite well. So do take your volume off of that a little bit for the more kind of percussive stuff, you know. Things like that. It works quite nice and bright, but to be quite honest with you, I think my clean sound on the amp just generally is, I just prefer that little duller. It's just ever so slightly duller. I kind of like that on a clean sound. So that's what that does. Now when you switch it on again and we use a bit of overdrive, this is where it really starts to take off. Now again, beware, this will blow your socks off if you're coming from your clean sound. So I'm going to take my volume down a bit because I don't want to deafen anyone. So we stop getting quite so much clarity. You can hear that kind of real grunt there. Really, really punchy that. It's really, really bright. I've got to admit, I'm not an enormous fan of it on the boost channel. It's too bright, it's too much. You'd have to roll the tone down on your amp. Well, I'd probably use my guitar. It's not for me. I think this does. The other 2 channels are actually fantastic, but I think that the comp cut channel, it's not for me. I'm not saying it's not great. I'm just saying it's not for me. Right, okay, we'll move on. Flat mids. Okay, so my clean sound, we'll go a little bit more percussive now. Clean sound, I'll put the flat mids on. Okay, I'm gonna boost the overdrive up a little bit. I think it needs it. We'll just see how that sounds. you got a little bit more kind of grunt. Oh, I'm gonna put myself back into. Got a little bit more grunt on that one. You can hear the, you can really hear it sort of opening up a little bit on there. So just to make sure I'm in tune, guys. Sorry about that. You can hear. So it flats out the mid. So we got a little bit more clarity than your average kind of sound there. I think it's great. I think it's great for lead playing as well. Okay, so you can kind of get away with that. Really nice and punchy and really clear as well. If I put that boost on, so we'll start with the standard, you're just going to get a bit more. So it's off. On. Okay, and you got really. If I switch to my back pickup, really throaty kind of classic rock sound there. Really cool. Really love it. I think it's really great. I think probably your best bet with that is to roll off the gain a little bit, bring your tone up a little bit, maybe your volume up a little bit. Just roll the gain off and treat it as more of a kind of maybe a rhythm sound. You know, but on your front pickup. If I bring that off, just so you can hear the comparison. Yeah, you see what I mean? So on. Alright, so it gives you a bit of an idea of the comparison between the two. So I'd go with that kind of thing for me. It's a great classic rock rhythm sound. If you clean up a little bit more, maybe with your volume control, again, always remember that with these overdrive pedals, use your volume control as dynamically as you can, because it makes a huge difference. Obviously, if I take my volume off, you can hear that's nice and percussive and we're not breaking up too much, but then if I bring the volume up, we're still sort of getting that, but it is starting to kind of distort a little bit, which is cool. Depends on what you want. Right, the final mode, my favourite, vintage. Vintage sounds awesome. I'm going to bring the volume up a little bit, the tone just a little bit, and about 1 o'clock I tend to find this is my favourite. Vintage just seems to give you a little bit more. It's kind of think that classic kind of Marshall, sort of classic rock sound really. It's like a vintage classic rock sound. Bridge pickup. Really getting somewhere now. Okay, so you really start to hear that, you know, just classic vintage rock sound. I'll play it around a little bit more overdrive. Okay, really kind of throaty, great sound, really love it. And again, if I take the overdrive a little bit, now I'm going to show you the Mosfet, okay? So we get quite a bit more of the Mosfet. Whereas before we had that, we get this. So actually, for me, that's a little bit less kind of muffled. You get that little bit more clarity with it. It's the Mosfet chip, I think, is to do with the clipping and where the sound distorts, and it it's pretty ferocious. That again, to be honest, I tend to prefer the standard one myself. You know, you've got that lovely. It's not too bright. It's not too clippy. It's just right, and you get that lovely kind of blue sound as well. It's perfect for you sort of quite Steve. Well, not really Steve. And then when you come right up a bit, loads of sustain there. And again, if you roll your volume off a little bit more, you could. Maybe not the greatest. You probably would want to take off there, but you get the idea, guys. A great, you know, a great sort of blues sound. Sounds fantastic. Love it. Absolutely love it. So just to give you a little bit, I'll just play around a little bit more with that. So I'll do some kind of lead playing. I'll take the overdrive off a bit. Okay, and you just get a little bit more from it, guys. You get a little bit more kind of clarity and less kind of breakup. So those are all the things with the full drive that I thought I'd go through today. I hope it's been of some use. I know we didn't do the demo in kind of loads of detail, but to be quite honest, when I watch the demos, I like to kind of, I don't want to sit there for 20 minutes and watch every kind of, I want to get an idea of it, I want to get a feel for the pedal, and then I want to go and try it out in the shop on my own. But that should give you a bit of an idea of some of the possibilities. Obviously, Fulltone is endorsed by no end of fantastic players, but it obviously matters who's playing the guitar. If it sounds great, then obviously it sounds great because Eddie Van Halen's using it, or Michael Landau or whoever, but it should be, obviously it comes from the fingers, remember that. Alright, well I hope you've enjoyed it. I might do some more gear reviews, hopefully, if they're popular, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.